the Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5, The Fanatic, and what more can be said? And we're going to try to say a lot today. That's just a general premise on what the Philadelphia Eagles are doing right now. A game where I'm watching it, I'm going, they're making that other team look stupid. After a slow start again, which we got used to, they somehow managed to say, okay, that team's doing this, so let's engulf them with this. And from that moment on, they reduced the Ravens to rubble. I mean, I'm watching the game, and I can't believe it. The way Lamar Jackson started, I said, oh, this could be one of those games where you get up and down the field. Instead, the opposite happened. After the first quarter, the Eagles get the 2 touchdowns, go into it with a lead, throw a donut at them in the third quarter, and then make a great final rush to get that that last touchdown that really cinches the game for them. We can go over the key plays of this game, but the general premise here, and we're going to go over the key plays of the game, the general premise is this is a good football team. And I don't know what the transition was or when it happened, but this is a legitimate Super Bowl contending football team. And I go, what can go wrong? Well, I don't know what can go wrong. They're headed on a collision course for the NFC Conference Championship to get to the Super Bowl. And right now you can make the case, and I know Bill has tried to make the case before, that they're even with Detroit Lions. Maybe they're even ahead of the Detroit Lions at this point. The Lions are all banged up. They struggled on Thanksgiving. And this team just keeps rolling along. They've got really good coordinators. And dare I say that the head coach has now created kind of an aura of stability. I don't know where it came from. He had a mental transition somewhere along the line where he became a football coach and not a goof, which is what I called him. So let me go. People are saying, do I hear Sirianni love today? Not only going to hear Sirianni love, but at the end of this show, I may be advocating for a contract extension for Nick Sirianni. Bill Colarulo's here. Ray Dunn is here. Bill, go ahead. Have at it.
Welcome, Michael. Welcome. It's warm in here. I'm glad that you joined me in the pool about Nick Sirianni. But we'll get to Sirianni
I don't want to join you in any pool. But
yes, you will. We'll get to Sirianni love later. But there were so many things that impressed me with this Philadelphia Eagles win yesterday. Let's start with the defense. It was one thing for this defense to shut down Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns, Daniel Jones and the New York Giants, Cooper Rush and the Dallas Cowboys. But now in the last 3 weeks, the Philadelphia Eagles held the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels to 10 points before a final drive that didn't matter. Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams to 14 points before a final drive that didn't matter. And now Lamar Jackson and one of the best offenses in the league with the Baltimore Ravens to 12 points before the final drive that didn't matter. And they've done this 8 wins in a row, a 10-2 start, winning games in São Paulo, New Orleans, New York, Cincinnati, Dallas, L.A., Baltimore. They are road warriors, and Saquon Barkley continues to impress. This offensive line continues to impress. The level of physicality that this team plays with, they just wear you down. Up until the fourth quarter, Saquon only had 44 yards. But then the new closer comes in. We used to call Hassan Reddick the closer. The closer is now Saquon Barkley. He goes for 63 in the fourth quarter with a 25-yard touchdown. Mike, Super Bowl contenders, baby. This team is for real.
I don't think there's any question that they are Super Bowl contenders now. So let me go over some key elements of this game, and we're gonna give you sound bites today. We're gonna go all over the place. To break down this game, which to me was their most impressive win of the season. So they get down 9-0, and when Justin Tucker misses the extra point, I go, I feel an avalanche coming. It was like that was a trigger for me. They're not up 10-0, they're up 9-0 instead of 10-0, but 10-0 is really important, and it gave the Eagles some life. Now, the Eagles allowed a lot of yards yesterday, okay? By any measure, 372 total yards. But they really only allowed 1 TD drive, and they allowed only 2 trips to the red zone in 11 opportunities for a really good offense. A really good quarterback who's an MVP candidate looked befuddled the whole game after that first quarter. The defensive line, outstanding. They got the edge rushing when everybody thought was going, this could be a problem. They got outstanding play from Nolan Smith, who's now got 4.5 sacks. Sweat put pressure on him. Jalen's Hunt in the game looked okay, but especially in the middle with Jalen Carter and Milton Williams. And I'm looking around, and Fancher's throwing guys like Tristan McCullum in the game for crying out loud and getting away with it. Consecutive drives in the second quarter. And here is what I thought was a really key element. The punt that got the Ravens down to the 1-yard line meant that the Eagles got the ball back at the Ravens 49. And at that point, that was the Jalen Hurts to Goddard touchdown, and then the sneak after the fumble snap were the 2 touchdowns in there. And I'm going, oh, wow, look at this. And then I go to the fourth quarter, which I thought was a very underlooked play. 3rd and 7, a 9-yard completion to Goddard, which was the precursor to the 25-yard touchdown to Saquon. That was the key throw of the game. The 3rd and 7 throw to Goddard on crossing pattern, to me, it was overlooked.
Yeah, it was a huge play. Great pass by Jalen, too. Puts it right on the money. And to go back to the punt you're talking about, that did change the entire momentum of the football game because at that point it was 9-0. Once they held them, after they pin them inside the 1 and they hold them, they get the ball at midfield, they outscored the Ravens 24-3 after that. So after that play, you outscored the Ravens 24-3 until that meaningless touchdown. So you're right, man. That was a turning point. And Jalen didn't do much in this game. What did he go, 11 of 19?
Yeah, very pedestrian game, and we're used to seeing these kind of pedestrian games. But a throw like that wipes out the glitter that you usually want to look for a quarterback. And these are the little things that are overlooked now with this transition of this offense, which is, here's what we are now. Like, we're not going to panic. We're not going to we were talking about, like, okay, the pass defense of the Ravens is so bad, they're going to change their stripes. They didn't change their stripes. They just work at it. And it looks like the defensive coordinator looks at what the other team does and go, okay, they're doing this, so let's do this.
Yeah. No, it's exactly what they're doing. The minor adjustments that they make. Now, I was a little surprised that the Eagles didn't do more through the air against the Ravens, but I think a part of it was in the third quarter, they just never had the ball. In the third quarter, the Ravens had the ball for 12 minutes. The Eagles only had it for 3. The Eagles ran 6 plays the entire third quarter. So I don't think Jalen really could get into a rhythm throwing the ball. But you're right. When he was asked to do it, made some really big plays and none bigger than that Dallas Goedert catch. On, what was it, 3rd and 8, you said? 3rd and 7?
3rd and 7. And it's an overlook play. I go, oh, my God, that's a great play. Now, that was the only 3rd down on that drive. But they had to make that. If he doesn't make that throw, which was a perfect throw, what happens to that game at that point? Like, that kept the drive going where Saquon could finish it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's big plays and big moments. And after the game, Sirianni was talking about Jalen being referred to as a game manager. He says, bull bleep. This guy wins football games. And how nice is it to see it? Sirianni and Jalen Hurts. It's like kumbaya. These guys love each other now. They're talking about each other glowingly in post-game press conferences. All is well in the city of Philadelphia right now.
Yeah, well, there's a story that was written this week by Ian Rappaport, who's still got a red ass from being called out by Mike Mularkey.
Yeah.
But he went over that whole thing during the bye and what they did on Zoom, on the phone, in person. Spent hours each day breaking down the team, focusing on the offense, spotlighting leaders. Hey, you know what? That's a sign of a good coach. If you're going to do that and you're going to spend that much, and you realize there's a problem between you and the quarterback, let's solve it. Let's go face-to-face. Let's go Zoom. Let's call each other and say good morning. Whatever he tried to do or whatever he did has worked, and this team is now rolling. And I look at the rest of the schedule, and I go, okay, I guess the Steelers can beat them. The Steelers are playing really well right now. And you actually have a worry about this because maybe you don't see a loss for the rest of the regular season, which means what would they have to do to get to the Super Bowl?
Yeah. You would look at the remaining schedule. The Eagles will probably be favored in every single game. Mm-hmm. If they win out, if they win every game this regular season, For them to win the Super Bowl, assuming that they're the 2 seed, they'd have to win 17 straight games because you got 8 straight now. There's 5 games left in the season, and then you'd have to win 4 playoff games. I don't want to say I want them to lose, but a part of me wants them to lose a game down the stretch because winning 17 straight seems impossible.
Does it seem impossible, or can good teams do it?
Well, look, you look at the Lions. They've won 10 in a row, so I guess they have a similar problem as well.
Patriots won 17 in a row, didn't they?
And then they lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they did.
You know, that's the only
I hear
issue.
you. All right, so we're going to talk about it. We'll have all kinds of sound bites for you. We'll have all kinds of Sirianni worship. But right now, Eagle fans, you got to be feeling really comfortable. You're sitting on a pillow. No matter where you are, you got a cushion because the Philadelphia Eagles are a Super Bowl contender. And that kind of hope makes your job seem less menial. It makes your family seem less like a pain in the ass. It does all that stuff, right? You got the buffer of an Eagle type of Super Bowl team. 610-632-0975 is how you get in, either by a phone call, and we'd love to talk to the people today, or you want to send us a text at that number. You can do that as well. It is the Mike Missanelli Show, the 10 o'clock hour, brought to you by Window Nation. Take advantage of Window Nation's 50% off sale on all style windows, plus make no down payment with no payments and no interest for 12 full months. Call 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. Mike Missanelli Show continues on 97.5 The Fanatic.